The moment he stepped out from behind the tinted doors, something felt different in the air, an energy shift so subtle and yet so powerful that it made the entire walkway fall silent. People who had been chatting just seconds earlier froze mid-sentence, eyes widening as if they were seeing Shohei Ohtani for the very first time. He didn't say a word, not even a quiet greeting. He simply walked forward, each step slow, steady, almost cinematic in its calm intensity. And for a heartbeat, it felt like time tilted toward him, pulled into his gravitational field as everyone instinctively leaned in. From a distance, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. The sweatshirt, the cap, the familiar posture. But as he got closer, just a few feet away, something undeniably new came into focus, something fans would later replay over and over again to convince themselves it wasn't just their imagination. His face. Sharper. More defined. A calm glow that made it look like he'd stepped straight out of a high-budget documentary rather than an off-season walk. The kind of silent confidence that doesn't require a baseball field to reveal itself. One fan whispered, barely breathing, "Is it just me, or did he change?" Another shook their head slowly, eyes locked on Ohtani as if trying to capture every detail, every angle. "No, it's not just you. That's different. He looks unreal." Phones shot up instantly, but even the videos wouldn't fully capture the moment, the closeness, the presence, the quiet power. It was something you had to feel in person, something deeper than appearance alone. He wasn't smiling, yet somehow, it felt warm. Comforting. As if the silence around him wasn't awkward but intentional, like he carried a calm universe within him that made everything else slow down. As he passed through the walkway, someone gasped louder than they intended, covering their mouth in embarrassment. But it was too late. Ohtani glanced for a split second, just enough for the crowd to break into a hushed wave of emotion. That single glance would later go viral. Thousands of people would comment about his eyes, the subtle change in his jawline, the almost movie-like aura that didn't exist last season. Hayatoshite. Fans wrote. Did something happen during the offseason? The theories piled up. A new training routine, a shift in confidence, maybe even a new personal chapter that shaped him in ways the world wasn't ready to understand. Some joked that he looked like he just finished filming a drama, others said he looked like a man who had seen something life-changing. But in that moment, none of the explanations mattered. All that mattered was the feeling, an emotional punch delivered without a single word spoken. Even the security guards seemed caught off guard, standing a little straighter as he passed, as if instinctively recognizing an aura that demanded respect without ever asking for it. The air behind him felt warmer, like he carried sunlight with him. And the moment he walked beyond the crowd, it was as though that warmth drifted away, leaving everyone blinking at the sudden emptiness. Someone muttered, "That wasn't normal, that was like meeting a movie character." Someone else whispered, "No, that was like meeting destiny." The footage hit X within minutes. Within hours, it became a trending phenomenon. Millions of views, thousands of reposts, endless lines of comments. What happened to him? Offseason Ohtani is dangerous. Creators slowed the video down frame by frame, not because they wanted to analyze him, but because they wanted to extend the feeling just a little longer. The internet had fallen into a collective spell. Some pointed out the small details, the clean, sharper cheekline, the calm confidence in his eyes, the lighter step in his walk. Others noticed things no one else would have thought about, like how relaxed his shoulders were, or how his jaw tightened just slightly when he scanned the crowd. One fan compared him to a protagonist who returns in season 2 stronger, wiser, transformed by unseen challenges. Another said he looked like a man who finally understood his place in the world. But the most repeated comment of all was simple. Hayatoshite, something awakened. Sports analysts tried to brush it off logically, but even they cracked a smile when the clip showed up during broadcasts. He looks different, one of them admitted. Not physically, but something shifted. Even former athletes chimed in, saying they recognized the look, the silent transformation athletes undergo when they come back from a season not just repaired, but reborn. What nobody knew, what nobody could truly understand, was the emotional weight Ohtani carried into that offseason. The injuries, the expectations, the pressure of being a two-way legend living in the spotlight of the world. But standing there in that hallway, he didn't look burdened. He looked like a man who had realized something essential. A man who had decided what kind of story he wanted to write next. As hours passed, more angles surfaced online. Each one more mesmerizing than the last. A slight breeze catching his hair. His profile illuminated by the hallway lights. The moment he stepped closer to the camera, eyes gently focused somewhere beyond the lens, as if he was looking straight through the noise, the world, the future. People joked, "We don't need 8K cameras. Ohtani is the 8K." But beneath the humor, there was admiration, deep, overwhelming admiration for a man who didn't need theatrics to captivate an entire world. It wasn't the home runs this time. Not the strikeouts. Not the records or awards. It was something far quieter. Something too human to quantify. The small, unspoken growth a person undergoes when no one is watching. And that, somehow, was more powerful than any highlight. Parents showed their kids the clip, saying, "This is what hard work looks like. This is what maturity looks like." Teens replayed it for confidence, athletes used it as motivation, and fans around the globe admitted that something about his presence made them want to improve their own lives. One person wrote, "He looks like a man who found peace with himself." Another said, "No, he looks like a man preparing for war." Both felt true. That was the mystery. The offseason had shaped him, changed him, strengthened pieces of him the public never sees. And when he walked down that hallway, the world sensed it instantly, before a season, before a pitch, before a moment. He didn't need an announcement. His aura made the announcement for him. As night settled and the clip continued to spread, one thought echoed across languages, across fanbases, across continents. If he looks like this now, what will he become next? Nobody had the answer. Not yet. But as the world watched that final frame where he disappears around the corner, one truth lingered like a spark waiting to catch fire. Shohei Ohtani wasn't just returning. He was ascending. And this time, the world wasn't just ready to watch. The world was ready to believe.